ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीति नाम्नि नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणि विचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण. So this we are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 1, Text 16, and here there is very nice description. Just to I have made some understanding of it. I will just share screen for you. So like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has he gave a book, Bhagavad Gita, in which everyone can find something for himself. That means what Krishna did basically, he spoke many things in Bhagavad Gita, and like people read it, Krishna consciously made, because sometimes people get confused also, that uh, why so many subjects are there. Actually there are not many subjects, one important subject, but there are other things also Krishna covered to help living entities. Krishna talks about karma yoga, mystic yoga, and he tells you perform your duty, and he explains about three modes of mental nature: not to eat so much, not to eat little, and then he tells about there are so many recipes Krishna has given for everybody, because everybody has their own choice. But if you really want to understand what Krishna want to tell, you should see the whole book. And Krishna travels everywhere through all these nooks and corners of our consciousness, looking for something to hook us and to make us interested in the book. And in the end, he wants us to bring to this one point. And there he openly tells, Ishvara Sarvabhutana Hiddesh Arjuna Tishtati. So he tells to Arjuna that he must fulfill his duty, his will. But actually, it is very important advice Krishna is trying to give us. And he says that most of the people, they will not be able to live in the monasteries, or they will not be able to go to Himalayas and do tapasya, because most of the people, they will be living in cities, like most of us are in cities. And he knows that and most of the people will be engaged in some kind of activity in order to support their lives. And also it is very difficult in Kali Yuga to even do our duties. Previously it was easy because people know their swadharma and they were doing. But in Kali Yuga it is very difficult. And to find a job, not that doing for some what is exactly is our dharma. It's a sad state in Kali Yuga. It's actually a deplorable state, because people don't have their own prescribed duties. That's why they cannot do it in a satisfied way. Because many of the people, what they are doing, they are not satisfied with the work they are doing also, right? And so we see that now Krishna gives universal advice that everyone can restore. He says, no matter what you do, whatever you do, try to understand that you are already a particle of me, that you are already connected to me, and having understood this from the very beginning in your mind, and you do it not for your own sake. And we have heard this many times. We should not do for ourselves, we should do for Krishna. But this advice is very, very deep, and it is very difficult to apply in practice also. Because understand that we have to understand that I am not independent. So this is very important. Like people don't want to understand, then it will be very difficult to for them to. If you want to understand something, I can understand. If you don't want, no matter whatever you convince, it will not go into the head. So this is the problem. Like now, what happens is we'll try to discuss this few things. Like Krishna tells you understand the simple thing that as long as you are attached to the fruits of your labor, we will remain entangled. And this is actually what is happening. We say I'm doing Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means what? We should give the result to Krishna. Everybody knows. We should not be attached to result. But that is not happening. That's why the problems are there. One karma comes when we are attached to the results, then the impressions will come and that reaction will come. Otherwise, where is reaction? If I am doing for Krishna, there is no question of reaction only. But now I write my exam and I am interested in the result for the exam. And if I don't get the result which I expected, then what happens? I cry. That means I immediately got the reaction, right? I I wanted the result, I didn't get the result, and I'm crying. So how can we say there is no karma in that? Karma is when we are attached, but when we do it for Krishna, there is no karma. The formula is very simple. Like we are attached means we are entangled. The impressions will come only when I am attached. That's why when we consciously do, when we apply buddhi, consciously doing that I am servant of Krishna, then there is no entanglement. We know result is controlled by Krishna. So what is the point in my attachment? This is the point. Like it happens in not our way. That is what is explained. All the time it happens somehow not in our way. So we make plans. The world is so arranged that for some reasons our plans are not fulfilled. And that is the reason people have this anger in their hearts and that manifests in different ways. Anger is basically because things don't go our way, right? But it never goes our way. It is always Krishna's way only. That we are not accepting, that's why we are angry. How many of us, at least I am angry sometimes. So, why anger comes is it's not our way, it's somebody else, and that is only one person. So, all the time we try to somehow collect our collapsing empire. And like there are so many people who makes plans like in India we have 5 years plan, 10 years plans, and so many government comes and does so many plans, but somehow it don't work only. Any advanced country you see, people want to change their government. Why they are doing it? Because it don't work. Their plans don't work. They are not happy. Even though they are genuinely trying, it won't work. So they say maybe better government will come, better government. And every person has the hope. Even the advanced countries with all their facilities. So this is actually the state. This is I want to achieve this goal at all cost, all means. And people build their plans and at last it will be destroyed. This is the state. This is what brings anxiety to people. It's complete state of frustration. Like the this is the God's will is always perfect. It is always His opinion that is working outside, and we'll be in constantly excited all the time, trying to do somehow collect something which is collapsing. But the result is sad only. And thing is, people before death look back and understand it's not as a result. Uh, it's actually very now will come some important points for it. Now, what happens is we ask Lord, give me another chance. I have not done something good in this life. And then Lord says, okay, as soon as we receive a certain type of body, then we are no longer free to act. because there is animal body and there is plant body and there are so many other types of bodies. Then they lose the freedom to act also because he wanted to act in a particular way and Lord provides it. And Lord says, okay, you want, my dear? Okay, please come, have it. And he says that as soon as a person receives certain type of body, and if I am a dog, I'd start to behave like a dog. How will I know that I am a dog? Because Krishna in the heart will say, you are a dog. You should act like a dog. And person receives that and he's waving his tail and pelts his tail and is acting in that particular way. There is no option for him. And now there is a very important uh, point I wanted to explain. This we all know, but we'll try to understand this. Like people, they are having a meaningless rotation in the wheel of material life. It continues to suffer. It continues to a sufficient degree. We are continuing, trying again and again. The trouble is that we are never understanding that why we are created. This is the most important point. When we know why am I created, then I will be able to act properly. Say if you give a iPad, say 100 years back to some aborigines in India or Africa or some Australia, some aborigines you give 100 years back. Then what they will use it? They will use it for chopping cabbage or some vegetables because they don't know what to do with this iPad. Yeah, what exactly is the result giving? Yeah, I'll come to that point. So now what they will use this iPad, they will chop vegetables because that's best use. They don't understand only what is the level. They're already so some Australians they may use as a boomerang, but they think it's not very perfect. It does not come back again properly. Now that means what? They don't understand what it is meant for. So the point is that if we know the purpose for which this is created, so the trouble is that we are never understanding for ourselves what we need. The before that we don't know what it is created for. That is first problem. We should know what it is, why it is created. And now, with our same amount of intelligence, unless we are very mature, we cannot understand. The example is very relevant. That aborigine cannot understand what it is meant for. So, similarly, we cannot understand what we are meant for at this level of consciousness. We have to, the more we grow our consciousness, the more we'll be. It is real. It is very revealing to us that oh, I'm meant for this, right? So here, like. Uh, It is all meant the purpose. There is the purpose of certain object is known by the one who created it because we always do the wrong thing with the opportunities that are provided to us. That's why we're again and again caught up in this mental world only. So if you understanding, uh, you'll be happy there. Sorry, yeah. So this is the point here that the opportunities are given, but it is not working. The purpose of certain object is known when who created it, right? And Krishna is very clearly telling if the person in principle does not know why the object was created, it is very difficult for him to figure out only. That's why Krishna is this Bhagavad Gita is a guiding book. This is a creator who explains why he created it. We are given so many opportunities, we don't understand. That this machine, say now one more thing, like if I act according to the mission which is provided, I can remain happy. But if I don't, then it will make me unhappy only. And some happiness is coming, but at the end people are confused. Like in Gemini Sutras, there is a point Gemini Sutra says that what is the logic he gives? Very nice logic Gemini gives. He says that uh, if something consists of different components, it means it was created and not for itself. What is the logic means? Because something consists of different components, something is dismantled. Like this is actually what happens with our body also. So this Gemini Sutra, he says that our body is created of different parts. It is if something has parts, that means somebody created it. That means we can reassemble. We can change our liver and keep another one, heart another one, and even ears, eyes. Sometimes they said head also they are able to try to do and put another one. That means what? And we hear also in Puranas, head is replaced. And Ganesh head is replaced. So that means we are dismantled, assembled back. That proves that somebody created it. If somebody created it, that means the one who created it understands why he is doing it. And we need to ask him why he created us. The point is that he did not create for him. We are not created for. He created for some purpose. And because we are not knowing the purpose why I am created, this body is meant for some purpose. If I am not knowing, I always misuse it and end up in troubling. So Lord says, okay, you surrender to me. That is what it is this body is meant for. And what happens? We can remain happy till we die here and then go to a place where we can eternally remain happy without death. That is the place what Lord want to take. So for that, Lord is telling this is how we need to live in a way that is very proper because you know why you are created. This somebody else is creating us. And same thing, say here astrology also we are discussing. So the astrology basically it's a script that is given to us. Now all the planets are actually moving us. They are making us do certain things and they predict what we are doing. All the script is there. But behind the threads of the one who pulls this thread, all these threads, there is one more thread that is pulling all the thread. And who is that? That is Krishna. This is what we need to understand. Krishna is telling the same thing. Array, this is what I am controlling everything. So we need to understand we are not independent. And another thing is that he's telling I am you should know this body is not meant for you. It is meant for somebody and he is there in your heart as a Paramatma. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hridaya Sarjana Tishtati. So I'm situated in the heart of all living entities, and I am actually supposed to direct it. But you want to do the way you want. Of course, we are desiring wrongly. That's what we are hearing now in the second canto, last chapter also. And here we see that the life of Vidra will come to our discussion, the purports. Gail Mataji, yeah, we have some questions in chat box. So these questions, what exactly is meaning of giving the result to Krishna? How do we do this? What are the ways we offer a result to Krishna? We don't offer result to Krishna, we only do for Krishna. So everything is for him. So offering result is Nishkam Karma. We don't offer. We only do everything for him. That means he only should enjoy. You cook, it is for him. We work everything for him. That means we already made a statement that I belong to Krishna and I need to act for Krishna. We don't need separately offering only. Say you are working in the office and company is paying for you. So you don't separately offer the result to the company. Whatever you do, all the result goes to the company. You are working in a project, all the result of the project is for the company only, right? Like I'm making a car, and the car I make, I cannot take the car to my home. It goes to the company. The company name will come, and company will sell the car. I made the car, but ultimately it is company's car only. I can just make and go home. Whatever I made, it belongs to the company. So I'm not separately offering it. I only did for everything for the Lord, right? Like so, that is what is the difference. We don't offer it separately. We only do for the Lord. And that is possible when we start knowing, when we identify ourselves as servant of Krishna. I'm servant, so whole day I'll serve Krishna. I morning wake up, I serve by chanting his holy name, I serve by hearing Bhagavatam, I serve by cooking and offering and doing arati to him. Even if I go to office also, I'm serving him because after going office, I can make some money and maintain the family, and that is also service to Krishna only because he has given me this family. So let me maintain it properly and engage them in Krishna consciousness. So all the time we do only for Krishna. And one on a offering result is people who want to enjoy, they want to offer. They say, okay, Krishna, you take something, I'll take something. But we say, no, Krishna, you only take everything. Then what you get? We don't want anything in return. We just want to serve, and that itself I want. I want to serve, serve, serve. And at the end of life, we go back to Krishna and continue serving. So that is the difference. There is nothing like offering. We only do. And anything in return, for people who are offering, they want something in return. We don't want anything in return. That is what is love. If you don't want anything in return and still you are doing, that is love. So what we get in the heart is we get that love in our heart. That is what we want. And love comes means you continue serving. More love means more service. Prabhupada, what did he want when he went to West and serve? He just want to serve Krishna. Did he offer any results to Krishna? No. He was only doing for Krishna. He went and he was at the Jalduta. He said, Krishna, okay, let me dance the way you want. And he did chanting and he did preaching. Everything he did for Krishna only. He didn't offer anything. And results did not come only. So Prabhupada still continued preaching for 1 year. After the results started coming, Prabhupada continued doing his preaching. And he did for 20 years 40 years in India, nothing came, but Prabhupada continued. So that is the difference. Okay, Prabhu. Another question. Some people after age of 45 understand that this life of enjoyment is not good and time is very swift. But why some not understand till very old age? So all this is due to different material modes. Yeah, material modes and their association, the association they did not get properly, and they are conditioned like that to continue to enjoy. There is no sincerity. That's why. Yeah, some people after 40 they start realizing time is going very fast. That is true. Actually, very short time. Life 45 years, just 50 years. After that, people come to this realization. Time is very. Uh, I still remember my school days, and it went very fast. So remaining days also will go very fast. And that's why we need to know that I need to remember Krishna at the time of death. Or I need to at least come to a stage of Nishta before we die. So that next life will be at least easy for us to practice Krishna consciousness. Any questions, comments on the topic? We'll continue this another very important topic of Vidra. Ilmata, you have some question?
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. Well, a couple things. One is, when we offer food to Krishna,
Yeah.
As you said, we should offer it for his enjoyment exclusively, not because we want any part of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, as a struggling sadhaka, conditioned soul, you know, I cannot deny my desire for food, So at my stage, how to offer food with that level of purity or selflessness?
Yeah, we may not be able to do at that level. We know Krishna knows this fellow is still interested to enjoy in this material world, but Krishna will not mind. He said, "Okay, you want to enjoy also, no problem." As sometimes some mischievous servants are there. They do the service nicely, but the master is kind. He says, "No problem, he will improve." So we will keep on improving, and it's not same after 10 years, 20 years. We will slowly, we are at least conscious that this is not the way I need to do. And then what happens is we start desiring that maybe one day I'll do it in a very nice way, and that desire itself is sufficient. Say now you got a desire that my offering should be pure. Now that desire will help you to come out of this conditioning. That is what is needed. The desire is what we all need. Like if I desire that whole day I have to sit and read Bhagavatam, at least the desire should come in our heart. Then Krishna will make arrangement. Krishna is ready to make arrangement. If you have a desire that let me one day offer very purely to Krishna exclusively for him, just desire that, and you see very in a very short time you will reach that stage. Only problem is the desire is don't does not come in the heart. That's a
Okay.
stuck. If you get the desire, it's a just matter of time you will reach that stage. And Krishna is all facilities, everything Krishna is ready to make. He just want the living entity to desire. If I desire very strongly that I want to go to spiritual world, Krishna will make all arrangement. If I desire very strongly that I want to come out of this conditioning, Krishna is ready to it. You want that intense desire only. That greed is the only price we need to pay. The payment is the greed. The payment is the desire. Why we hear again and again and again the same thing? So that the desire becomes stronger and intense, and Krishna will fulfill that. That's the only way. That's why association is what? Association is basically creation of desire. If I associate with materialistic person, I get their desires. If I associate with devotees, I get their desires. So association is basically for desires and desire to serve. Now the desire to enjoy is strong. The desire to serve should become more intense.
Mhm. Okay, well, you answered my follow up question, which is how to develop that desire. And I guess your answer is association.
Basically, association is what when what we are associating with, we are associating with that person's desire, intensity, quality. We are seeing that, then we feel, "Are he's so selflessly serving? He's so selflessly serving." So when you appreciate again and again, you feel maybe I will also try to do it. And then we pray to Krishna, maybe let me also do selfless service. That's it. And we are at that, we can reach that level very fast. Like I
Okay,
want.
but mhm. Yeah, go ahead, please.
If I want any where success, that is the way. I need to be with that people who are successful in that area. And now
Yeah.
when we are sitting and hearing Bhagavatam, we are associating with all these personalities. Now Vidura we are associating, Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami, we are associating with them. And we are seeing that, oh, this is their desire. So let me also be like that.
Okay, but just one kind of devil's advocate type question. We are qualitatively the same as Krishna. That's why we also have minute free will, just as Krishna has free will. And I'm sure you've heard this question many times, but um, if we are qualitatively the same as Krishna, and for that reason, we have also a desire for happiness, a desire, we have free will, we have so many things. I think up to 50 qualities that we have in common with Krishna. So among those things, since we are like the gold ring of a gold mine, why is it that it is like illegal for us to want to enjoy his energies as he enjoys his energies out of that sense of qualitative oneness.
We can enjoy, but we have to enjoy in a uh, legal way. We should not enjoy in a illegal way. There is legal way, like if you are enjoying in a legal way, it does not make any problem. If we are enjoying illegal only, then we are put in the prison. So when we understand that the property belongs to the master, and we acknowledge that, and when we take it, then there is not a problem. If I say no, I am independent of my master and I am enjoying it separately, then all the trouble starts. So if you don't acknowledge, that is the problem. So if you acknowledge, and Lord is very much happy to share what all he has with all his the living entities. The father will be very happy to share his property with the child. The child says, no, I am independent, nothing to do with the father, I will do it myself. Then only he will end up in trouble. The prodigal son, that is the part, that is the point that is explained. Don't enjoy independently. You acknowledge knowing that whom it belongs to. Ishavashamidam sarvam yatkinchit jagattam jagat tena tektvena punjita magrita kasya suddham. It says you acknowledge that Ishavashamidam sarvam, it belongs to the Lord. If I say I'm in the darkness now, then if I want to do mischief, then only I'm in trouble. Otherwise, there is no trouble, because all living entities in the spiritual world, they enjoy. They enjoy all the things which belong, but they know that it belongs to Krishna. My ability to speak, my ability to do everything belongs to Krishna. I'm taking all the abilities, I'm utilizing it, but I'm not acknowledging only. That is a problem. Enjoying is not a problem. Wrong enjoyment is problem. Why there is a prison house? Because they are doing mischief. Why this metal world? Because we are doing mischief.
Yeah, but I'm saying that enjoying to me means enjoying his energies as he enjoys his energies. To me means okay, I acknowledge, for example, food, right? I acknowledge this food um, is exists because of his energy, right? It's not my energy, it's his energy. So as long as I have acknowledged that, why do I have to say, okay, Krishna, I prepared this for you, only I don't want any part of it? That seems to be almost like a contradiction. If you say that I can enjoy it, but I have to just all I have to do is acknowledge that it's coming from him. Then why do I have to then also give it to him selflessly without any desire to enjoy it myself? You
Oh, there are
understand what
two things here. See, what I am telling is the principle which I am telling is the enjoyment in this material world based on Nishkam Karma Yoga. Nishkam Karma Yoga, any activity you are doing, it is told you need to do in the form of yajna. Yajna is basically acknowledgement. So when I am eating, when I want to eat this food, what I have to do? I have to do it as a sacrifice. So I offer it to the Lord, and the offering to the Lord basically is acknowledging, my dear Lord, this is your food you have given me. I thank you very much. Now I am on to accept it. That's all. So that is what is called yajna. Basically, yajna is you are acknowledging that it belongs. So this is at the level of Nishkam Karma Yoga. Person is acknowledging and he is enjoying. But a person, he start feeling that I want to get something more. He want to give his heart to Krishna, and he want to develop a relationship with that Lord who is giving me everything. Then that person, he will do everything for the Supreme Lord. That means he offers it for the Lord and says, I don't want anything in return. So Lord says, okay, then we'll have a relationship. So there are enjoyment at different levels. So the enjoyment which I am speaking is at level of Nishkam Karma Yoga, where a person want to enjoy in this material world, energy of Lord. That is not wrong. You can do it legally. But a person feels that I want to enjoy something more than what is this in this energies of the Lord. Let me enjoy a relationship with the Lord, and that gives me much more happiness and satisfaction. Then he goes for a bhakti path where he is saying, my dear Lord, I don't want to enjoy this anything of this material world and any energy of Lord. I only want to serve. Because what happens is we are Prakriti. Prakriti means which is meant to serve. If I want to take up the position of a Purusha, then only there is a problem. We are Prakriti. We are also energy of Lord. We are meant to give pleasure to the Lord. So that level of enjoyment is much more deeper for us. If I am serving, so anyway I am serving. I serve my eyes by looking at different things. I am serving my tongue. I am serving my ears. I am thinking I am enjoying, but actually I am serving my senses. I am serving my mind by fulfilling all the desires which appear in my mind. Anyway, I'm serving, and I serve my family members, trying to fulfill their sense, they satisfy their senses, their mind, and I'm trying to. All the politicians are trying to satisfy the mind and senses of the citizens. So basically, I'm serving the senses, which I am not. I am not the senses, I am not the mind. I am spirit soul, but a spirit soul is serving the senses, which are ungrateful masters. So instead of serving these ungrateful masters, why don't I serve a grateful master who is Krishna, who is just satisfied with Patram Pashvam Phalam Toyam? So better to serve a master who acknowledges even a little bit of my service and is very happy with that. So let me serve that master instead of serving the master of this master, all these ungrateful masters of the senses, which I am anyway not. I am a spirit soul, and why I should serve the senses and remain in an imaginary pleasure of being happy serving the senses, which is not correct. So even that also, if I want to serve my senses and mind, I have to do it legally. That is the yajna. So yajnartha karmano anyatra lokayam karmana. Krishna is still, even if you want to enjoy with your senses and mind, do it legally. But if you feel that no, Krishna, I am not actually want to satisfy my senses and mind, let me really satisfy you. I want you as my master, not my senses or my mind or the infallible soldiers of this world, whom I am serving their senses, my family. Let me be your servant and let me serve you because we are meant to serve. So that is what is our swabhava. That is what is, sorry, not swabhava, that is what is our dharma. So we are meant to serve. Like salt is always salty, sugar is sweet. So we as a living entity are meant to serve. That gives us highest happiness. So there is legal way of being happy, and there is much more better way to be happy is when we selflessly do it for Krishna. That gives the highest happiness. Like a mother, a small child is there. Now she has two options. One is she makes nice food item and eat herself, and she makes nice food item and feed the child. We may think, what is this? Why she is selflessly doing it for the child? And mother is cooking and she has two, three kids. And like I remember, my mother used to cook, and we are three children. We used to eat everything, and my mother was not getting anything also, but she's happy. And we may say, what is this? My mother could have made herself and ate, but we used to eat everything, and she's happy. So that means she is experiencing something more happiness. So similarly, when I do it everything for Krishna, I am experiencing something more. So I feel why I should compromise on doing myself and enjoying. Let me enjoy something more. So that is a greater in a much more advanced stage a person understands. So I have such something more in relationship. I enjoy more than like I sit myself and eat some popcorn and watch a movie, or I go with a friend and enjoy with him. So there is a difference. A person in a much more advanced stage, he understands that I relationships are much more deeper and that's more satisfying.
Okay, very nice, Prabhu. Just to follow up one last time, the person who can enjoy legally, right? Why are we calling that enjoyment when he won't experience the maturity of his real self? A person engaged in Nishkam Karma Yoga, I think the best he can do is end up in Sayuja Mukti, right? Impersonal liberation, or maybe, yeah, something.
You may end up in
Well,
heavenly planets also.
yeah, and in heavenly planets, it's still birth, death, disease, old age, ultimately, right? Which is why we say that selfish enjoyment is really myopic happiness, right? Because ultimately the end result is these four miseries. So why is even legal enjoyment encouraged?
Because not everybody can appreciate that one, and everybody is not at that level to understand also. Not everybody can appreciate and are not at that level to understand this level of happiness. Say now, if I go to a third class, fourth class child in the school, and I say that if you do your mathematics nicely, then you will become a big engineer or doctor. Then, if you do your homework, you will become a doctor. The child will say, if I do a homework, can I get a lollipop? Can I get a sweet candy? So for him, he is happy with sweet candy. You say you do homework, you get sweet candy. If I tell him you do homework, you will get you will become engineer. It is he cannot relate to it because he's not grown up to that level to understand that being an engineer is much more than to just get a candy. So he's just happy with his sweetie. You're understanding the difference. So the difference is that people are happy with their level of happiness only. They cannot appreciate or understand, and they cannot know that higher levels.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Next. Any other question, comments on this topic? See. So what are the reasons for not having strong determination? It's because of false ego. The false ego is what holds us from getting strong determination. We are mm, we we identify ourselves and we are not ready to surrender our ego to Krishna. And when we surrender, then ego goes. But because of ego, we are not able to surrender. So it's like a vicious circle. Because of ego, I'm not surrendering. And because of not surrendering, my ego is not going. So where does it go? That's why we need to do sadhana. Regular sadhana will give us determination. So we will just take few purports. These are actually very important section of Vedra also because this is giving us that how calamities come in people's life and how they have to deal with this. Thus being pierced by the through his ears and afflicted at the core of the heart of his heart, Vidra placed his bow on the door and quit his brother's palace. He was not sorry. This is very important. He was not sorry, for he considered the act of external energy to be supreme. Akrite kriyamani gunai karvani sarvasha ahankara vimudhatma karta hamit manyate. The Prabhupada is telling a pure devotee of Lord is never perturbed by any awkward position created by the external energy of Lord because he knows that it is all done by Prakriti. A conditioned soul is absorbed in material existence under the influence of different modes of external energy. Absorbed in false ego, he thinks that he is doing everything for himself, by himself. The external energy of Lord, the material energy, is fully under the control of Supreme Lord, and the conditioned soul is fully under the grip of the external energy. Therefore, the conditioned soul is fully under the control of the law of the Lord. But due to illusion only, he thinks himself independent in his activities. Duryodhana was acting under such influence of external nature, by which he would be vanquished at the ultimate end. He could not accept the sound advice of Vidura, but on the contrary, he insulted the great soul who was the well wisher of his whole family. Vidura could understand this because he was a pure devotee of Lord. In spite of being very strongly insulted by Duryodhana's word, Vidura could see that Duryodhana, under the influence of Maya, the external energy, was making progress on the path of his own ruination. He therefore considered the act of external energy to be supreme. Yet he also saw how the internal energy of Lord helped him in that particular situation. This is very important. So he is able to see the both difference, external and internal. External is acting on this fellow, internal is helping me to come towards Krishna. A devotee is always in a renounced temperament because the worldly attractions can never satisfy him. This is a difference. So people say, Are, why are you attached to the result? You work hard and just forget about it, whatever comes. But because this renounced temperament is not it, that's why devotees also are unhappy. They're devotees, they're not supposed to be unhappy. But because the attachment is still continuing for them for the result, they're unhappy. And if somebody is Nishkam Karma Yogi and is really detached from result, he can be more happy than devotee also because he's detached. So it's not that like is very cool, calm, peaceful. He's just happy in Brahman. The yogis in Himalayas, they're more happy. But we need to be happy more than them. We can be happy when this temperament is there. We need to renounce our attachment. We need to feel dependence on Krishna. Then we can experience more. Say the experience of Brahman happiness is considered one drop of the ocean of the bliss of bhakti. But we are not getting because of attachment only. If I give up my desire to enjoy, then it becomes very easy. So now this is very important. People say, Proji Yukta Vairagya. I have all facilities. Why you are enjoying all facilities? People say, Pro Yukta Vairagya. I have a car, I have my mobile, I have my laptop, and I have many things. All my things are there, all gadgets are there, and all comforts are there. And then we say, why you have all these things? Proji? I am engaging everything in Krishna service. But before Yukta Vairagya, this is needed. He says, Vidra was never attached to the royal palace of his brother. He was always ready to leave the palace and devote himself completely to the transcendental loving service of Lord. So this is actually important. Like say if suddenly we are told, okay, Prabhu, now your guru is telling leave everything, go to Vrindavan and stay there and do your bhajan. I say, yes, Hari Bol. So what a great opportunity. If I am ready to any day go to Vrindavan and stay there happily and no do some bhajan and take little prasadam and happy, that means I am fit. I'll not be anytime disturbed by all these comforts and all which are having. So it is always better to live in a very simple way. And when I'm taking any luxury or comfort, I should be conscious. Without this, can I survive or not? Without this luxury and comfort, can I survive or not? We have to always check. Then only we can take that luxury and comfort. If you take it and if it goes away, we should not become miserable. We say, yeah, Krishna gave, Krishna took it. Hari bol, I'm very happy. And more we lose things, more bliss should come in the heart. More things are going, more it should be, you should feel, we should feel comfortable. Yes, now I am more free. It should, we should feel as if our burden is lost. Similarly, this is actually what happened to Vidura. Now he got an opportunity by the grace of Duryodhana, and instead of being sorry at the strong words of insult, he thanked him for from within because it gave him the chance to live alone in a holy place and fully engage in devotional service of the Lord. The word gata gyataha without being sorry is significant here because Vidra was relieved from the tribulations which troubled every man entangled in material activities. This is actually what happens to everyone. We have to go in such a way that we already have to prepare that I want to come out of it, entering into family. He therefore thought that there is no need to defend his brother with his bow because his brother was meant for ruination. Thus, he left the palace before Duryodhana could act. Maya, the supreme energy of Lord, acted here both internally and externally. So this is what is Vidra's realization, and this is what we need to live and meditate and take ourselves on. This will be very helpful. We'll see next one. By his piety, Vidra achieved the advantages of pious Kauravas. Leaving Hastinapur, he took shelter of many places of pilgrimage, which are Lord's lotus feet. With a desire to gain a higher order of pious life, he traveled to holy places where thousands of transcendental forms of Lord are situated. Vidura was undoubtedly a highly elevated and pious soul, otherwise, he would not have taken his birth in a Kaurava family. He had high parentage, to possess wealth, to be highly learned, and to have great personal beauty are all due to past pious acts. But such pious positions are not sufficient to obtain the grace of Lord. And being engaged in his transcendental loving service, Udara considers himself less pious and therefore he decided to travel to all the great places of pilgrimage in the world in order to achieve greatest piety and advance nearer to the Lord. At that time, Lord Krishna was personally present in the world and Vidura could have at once approached him directly, but he did not do so because he was not sufficiently freed from sin and cannot be 100% devoted to Lord unless and until he is completely free from all effects of sin. Vidura was conscious that by the association of the diplomatic Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, he had lost his piety and was therefore not fit to associate at once with the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed. Sachinam Srimatam Gehe. Sorry, what is this? Anyway, so the point is that after Yesham Twantagatam Papam Jananam Punyakarmanam Tve Dundamo Bhajante. Persons who are sinful asuras like Kamsa and Jarasandha cannot think of Lord Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, the absolute truth. Only those who are pure devotees, those who follow the regulative principles of religious life, are prescribed in the scriptures are able to engage themselves in karma yoga and then jnana yoga, and therefore by pure meditation they can understand pure consciousness. When God consciousness is developed, one can take advantage of the association of pure devotees. Shan mahat sevaya vipra punya tirtha nishevanat. One is able to associate with Lord even during the existence of his life. Places of pilgrimage are meant for eradicating the sins of the pilgrims, and they are distributed all over the universe just to give facilities to all concerned for attaining pure existence and God realization. One should not be satisfied, however, merely by visiting the place of pilgrimage and performing one's prescribed duties. He should be eager to meet the great souls who are already there, engaged in the service of the Lord. In each and every place of pilgrimage, the Lord is present and in his various transcendental forms. These forms are called Archa Murtis, or forms of Lord which can be easily appreciated by the common man. The Lord is transcendental to our mundane senses. He cannot be seen with our present eyes, nor can be heard with our present ears. To the degree that we have entered into the service of Lord, or in proportion to how much our lives are free from sins, we can pursue the Lord. But even though we are not free from sins, the Lord is kind enough to allow us the facility of seeing Him in His Archa Murti in the temple. The Lord is all powerful and therefore is able to accept our service by presentation of His Archa form. No one therefore should foolishly think the Archa in the temple to be an idol. Such an Akshamurti is not an idol, but the Lord Himself, and is proportion to how much one is free from the sin. He is able to know the significance of Akshamurti. The guidance of a pure devotee is therefore always required. In the land of Bharatavarsha, there are many hundreds and thousands of places of pilgrimage distributed all over the country, and by traditional practice and common man visit such holy places during all seasons of the year. Some of the Archa representations of the Lord situated in different places of pilgrimage are mentioned here. The Lord is present at Mathura, the birthplace of Lord Krishna, as Adi Keshava, at Puri Jagannath, Allahabad Prayag as Bindu Madhav, at Mandara Hills Madhusudan, Anan, Ana, Andarana is known as Vasudev, Padmanabha and Janardana, and Vishnu Kanchi is known as Vishnu, and at Mayapur he is known as Hari. And billions of such Acha forms of Lord distribute all over the universe. All these Archamutis are summarized in Chaitanya Charitamrita as follows. Sarvatra prakashatandra bhakti sukha dite jagatera adharma nashi dharma stapite. The Lord has so distributed Himself all over the universe just to give pleasure to the devotees, to give the common man facility to eradicate his sins, to establish religious principles in the world. So we'll just read one more purport. He began to travel alone, thinking only of Krishna through various holy places like Ayodhya, Dwarka, and Mathura. He traveled where the air, hill, orchard, rivers, and lakes are all pure and sinless, and where the forms of unlimited Duke decorated the temples. Thus he performed the pilgrimage progress. The Archa form of Lord may be considered ideal by the atheists, but that does not matter for persons like Vidra or his many other servants. The form of Lord are mentioned here as Anta, Anantalinga. Such forms of Lord has unlimited potency, the same as that of the Lord himself. There is no difference between the potencies of the Archa and those of the personal form of the Lord. The example of the post box and post office may be applied here. The little postwork distributed all over the world has the same potency as the postal system in general. The duty of post office is to carry letters from one place to another. If one puts letter in the post box authorized by the general post office, the function of carrying letter is performed without a doubt. Similarly, the Archamurti can also deliver the same unlimited potency of Lord as when he is personally present. Vidra therefore could see nothing but Krishna in different Archa forms, and ultimately he was able to realize Krishna alone and nothing else. Okay, thank you all very much. Gil Mataji, you have something by mistake.